All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to make these videos short and sweet so you can get a little bit of practice on each one. This one does not have a practice after it. We just wanted to focus on parallel lines only. We'll do perpendicular ones in the next video. This won't take long, but we just wanted you to practice just with parallel lines first, okay? So, looking at this, we're going to sketch these lines. So I'm going to sketch the three lines. I'm looking at the first one, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Well, the 1/2 is in the m spot, so that's my slope, my m, and my b is 3. So when I go to graph it, I start at the 3, because that's my y-intercept, I count up 1 over 2. And when I do that, I end up with my line. It should have kept going, sorry. But if I start here and I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and I end up at 3. For this B line, I've got 1/2 in the M spot, so that's my slope. Nothing is here in the B area, so what number represents nothing? You got it, 0. So I'm going to start at 0 this time and go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Okay. For my third line, I have a 1/2 again for my slope, and now I have a -3 for my B. So I'm going to start at -3 and I count up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and I end up with these three lines. And what do you know is true about these three lines? Let's look and see. Well, they're parallel lines, right? The three lines are parallel, they never intersect. And what do you notice about the slope? They have the same slope. So therefore, lines that have the same slope are parallel. So any lines that have the same slope will never intersect. They are parallel. They'll never touch. They'll never cross. End of story, no exceptions. Okay? So what you're going to do now is you're actually going to go back on Edpuzzle and you're going to do, I got to do this weird, you're going to do this part on your Edpuzzle right now. All right. So now we're going to apply this. We're going to prove if these lines are parallel or not. So I'm looking at this one right here, and I have the slope of line A and the slope of line B. Well, I've got to pick two good points, and then I've got to plot them, right? I've got to count up and over. So for line A, I'm going to count up and over from one good point to the next. And I've picked this point because it's right on the crosshairs, right there, right? And my next point is way up here, because none of the rest of these points are crossing the lines at just the right spot. This one's pretty close, but not quite. So now I count up. I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm counting to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope, I went up 4 over 5. It's positive because I went to the right, so it's 5/4. When I do the same thing down here, I take my points. I'm going to pick points that are right on the crosshairs. It happens that this is an intercept, and that's okay. It can be an intercept. It doesn't have to be. Theoretically, that purple point is a little to the left. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope here is 5/4. The two lines have the same slope, therefore they are parallel, right? For this one, you're going to do, oh wait, I do this one for you. So on this one, I'm going to start with line C, and I pick my points. I count up 1, and I go over 1, 2, 3, up 1, over 1, 2, 3. So my slope is 1 over -3 because I'm going to the left, so it's negative. If I check this one on line D, I go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so that's actually 1 over -4. Are those parallel? No, they're not, because I went up 1 and left 4, so that's 1 over -4. Those are not parallel lines. Eventually, even though it doesn't look like it on this picture, eventually they're going to cross, so they're not parallel. You can tell a little bit, maybe. Okay. So that's easy, right? You just count on the graph. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to do example 3. I'm looking at this, write the parallel slope. Oh, well, that's easy. If I just write y equals mx plus b underneath, 2/3 is in the m spot, so any line that's parallel is going to have a slope of 2/3. So now you're going to do on Edpuzzle, I want you to do example 4, but remember your y is not by itself, so you're going to have to solve for y and then tell me what the slope is. I can tell you right now the slope is not 1. All right, so now let's look at number 5. Write the equation of a line parallel to this, y equals 2x plus 5, and passes through the point -2, 5. So what I'm saying is I'm giving you a line, and I'm giving you a point somewhere else on the graph, and you need to figure out which line would be parallel to it. So I know my slope, right? If the slope is 2 on this line, it's going to be 2 on my second line. So I just put the 2 in. So I have y equals 2m plus b. I'm sorry, that should have been an x. I apologize. It was a mistake. I went back and fixed it. So now we've got y equals 2x plus b, and that's too many variables. But I have this point, negative 2, 5. So I just plug these numbers in. Negative 2, I put that in for x. 5, I put that in for y. I plug it into Desmos, and I figure out b is equal to 9. So now I can write my new equation. So I have this line, y equals 2x plus 5. And I have this other line, y equals 2, same slope, x plus 9, because that's what we calculated our b to be. I know those two lines are parallel because they both have the slope of 2. I know the second line goes through the point negative 2, 5, because that's how I figured out what b was. Now you're going to do the exact same thing with example 6. All right, so again, I'm going to do example 7, and then you guys will do example 8 on the Edpuzzle. So here I'm given a graph, and I'm asked, do these 2 points, are they parallel? Do I have a line parallel to this line? Well, I can plot the points and count them, but I'm actually going to practice using Desmos a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that table trick in Desmos. Do you remember the table trick? I need to determine if my slope is 2, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 points, I'm going to put them into Desmos and use the table trick. Okay, so I'm going to click on the plus sign, go to the table, and I'm going to put the points in exactly the way they were on my notes. So 4, 3, and negative 2, negative 2. And then remember I put my little equation down here, so I have y1, and I use a squiggle, not an equal sign, mx1 plus b. And it does the math for me. Wait a second. It tells me my slope is 0.33333. Or I'm sorry, 0.833333. Is 0.833333 the same as 2? No, it's not. And if you want to do this, this is what I suggest you do. Let's turn this into a fraction, because that's how we read slope, right? Just to see how different these are. And Desmos doesn't like it, right? So I'm going to keep typing a 3. Oh, it disappeared. I broke it. No, I didn't. I didn't break Desmos. If I keep going, just keep typing that 3. Be patient. Oh, look, it finally comes up with a slope of 5/6. So 5/6 is completely different than 2. So I put it into Desmos. I said, no, I came up with a slope of 5/6, not 2. So the 2 lines would not be parallel. They would intersect. So what I want you to do now on Edpuzzle is you're going to do example 8. And you're going to do this. You're going to do the exact same thing I did with 7, but now you're going to do it on Edpuzzle. Okay? All right, that's it for this video. There is no, whoops, sorry about that. There is no practice after this video. We're going to do practice after the 3rd